A very good morning to you this wonderful day, the 24th of June, 2024. We are live on Smart Means Business, Smart 24 TV. It's always a delight to have you. My name is Kem Chadorin. I'll be taking you through, and I'm joined by my colleague, Noah. Good morning, Noah.
Good morning. How are you?
Very good evening, a very good morning, very good week that we look for.
Good morning, Uganda.
Yes, we are hopeful. Remember, as we always do it on Smart Means Business, we are very keen on having a positive mindset. How do you attack the day? How do you present yourself for the day? So seize it, right, Noah?
Yes.
That's how we do it here.
We can attack the day the Kenyan way.
No protesting.
Oh,
no protesting
why
today.
Why not?
We're going to talk about that. No protesting, Noah. Let's not get.
I'm not saying we should protest, but I said you attack the day the Kenyan way. You know.
Well, in
the
regards
African way.
In the African way, taxes and all, whether it's financial bills and all that, we're going to be talking about it. But right now, let's just give you a little bit of a sneak peek into what we're going to be talking about this day today. We'll be having, of course, a couple of news coming in all throughout national, regional, as well as international news for your flavor. We have a little bit of insight. Every Monday, we will be having quite some topic that is trending, a topic that is worth pursuing. Today's topic is mental health, just an undertone for you to get to find out what's happening.
What an issue there.
What's happening out there. And we'll be joined by the National Coordinator for the National Association of Social Workers, Mr. John Mary Sekate, who will be taking us through some of the different innings of mental health. Of course, we'll also have our little insight, our very little insight coming in on export and cold chain facilities. What is missing? We get to hear quite a lot about infrastructure. Is it infrastructure for the roads? Is it cold chain infrastructure? And what does that entail? What does it have? We'll have an official coming in from DAS Handling who will help us, take us through to give us a little bit of more insight. They have wonderful facilities at, within Entebbe, but apparently there is quite a disconnect, and we hear Uganda's fresh produce continuously is getting rejected abroad. So this is some of the news coming in. What do you have for us, Noah?
Well, really, just current affairs here happening there. I told you can attack the day the Kenyan way. They just showed us that, you know, when things are tough, you get tougher. Man, those guys.
Those cars. We will not pay.
They're being called they're being called Gen
Zs?
Gen Z.
The Gen Zs.
Generation Z. But I saw
one viral, something go viral, and he was really into it. He was posing like he was at the beach, and yet he was inside the patrol,
but you know,
the patrol car.
The boldness they have.
Yeah.
Although people don't understand Gen Z, for those that watch movies, you watched World War Z. Yeah. When you say Generation Z, it means this is the final generation, which to me I find it very radicalizing. And people are celebrating like, oh yes, Gen Z, Gen Z. Yeah. But saying Generation Z, it means you are the Omega. There's no other generation coming. So, I mean, with this kind of attitude, Kenyans can end up burning down their country out of excitement that we do not know. Yeah. However, I love the fact that young people in Kenya took on to make sure that, you know, you're not going to press us down like that. So, well, in Kenya, things are happening like that.
Definitely, things are happening. And 302 billion that is expected, yes, in agreement. In
Uganda, of course, we are busy arresting MPs over corruption, and I'm like, yeah, let's go.
It is
get
not.
Them on.
Noah, let's take it.
Supporting the old man to get all those guys in prison.
Let's take it in full faith this time. We've started off this financial year on a very positive note of accountability. It's not just the usual.
You know what I mean? Don't sugarcoat this thing. Come on.
Accountability.
People are being arrested over corruption, and we condemn corruption. So arrest all those guys.
And monies are being returned.
Even my brother, my sister, if he's corrupt, take them in.
Start from the head. Start from the head of the fish.
Now that's the part I don't want to talk.
Exactly. Let's be radical as well, if that is it. But we have quite some news coming in. This is just a little bit, and it's really a continuation of what Noah is talking about. National economic development. Experts say corruption should be addressed first. The government will further develop its economy by further lifting people out of poverty, by focusing on the 4 issues set out in the NRM manifesto 2021-26.
You know what worries me is that the budget this time shot so high.
72 trillion.
You get that budget is too high for us to look at these guys. The reason why I celebrate people who are MPs who are being arrested over corruption, and I hope they are proven guilty.
You celebrate them?
I celebrate that they get arrested because it concerns me. This budget shot so high, then we wake up and this money has done nothing. You get in the financial year. So if corruption has to be tackled whichever way, if it's the Chinese way, if it's the Rwandese way, if it's the North Korean way, we say let's go for it, but we need accountability this financial year.
But look at the pretext from which they were arrested: influence peddling, right? Trying to get in and get a little bit of monies for whatever different areas. The budgetary, they were not really down to necessarily looking at the implementation. They were looking at, we can get you more monies, more of the national cake. Yes, and that is why I believe they were arrested in regards to that.
And I have seen top people in government justifying it. I've seen one of the top people in government saying, you know, if he steals and if he eats but brings home, it was even a very contradicting statement.
No, actually, it has been said before, and you have really the Wananchi down there saying, you know what, bottom line, if someone steals at the end of the day, it will trickle down to us.
Yes, because this statement is in the headlines. If you eat but you bring home, it means I'm bringing home waste. Because I've already eaten. This is individual eating. Come on, people.
No. The sentiment, Noah, is if you come and you spend 100,000 on chicken, then it trickles down. If you buy matoke, you buy whatever it is you want to buy, rice and all that, it trickles down. If you buy fuel, it trickles. That is the essence behind it.
Corruption is bad.
Now, why you think why they don't want to be tracked down? You know, we're still hearing, news is still trickling in about the billions being found under people's beds in their houses and all that. And it is this topic. Let us hope, Noah, that this is not just white smoke. It's not just going to fizzle out at the end of the day. Let there be tentacles that are rooted further down. Because we've had this on a recurring basis whereby, you know what, corruption is said, and then 1 or 2 are arrested. And after that, just a little bit of ruffles here and there, it goes back to normal. You know?
Well, for me, I don't care if they arrest and even arrest themselves. Let's arrest the corrupt. Thank you. Okay. It's a beautiful morning, Doreen.
It is.
And I look forward to the conversation.
It is.
Yes.
But just to give you just a little bit, talking about this, Emmanuel Dombo, spokesperson of the ruling NRM, says the government has created the conditions that enable Ugandans to live a comfortable life. He said the starting point is to have a national spirit where people work together, which is one of the factors that builds the country's economy. Addressing the nation recently, the president pointed out that where the country's economy stands and where there is hope, it will grow by $500 billion in 2 years because there are many things that will be upgraded. So to enable this and get everything cracking and moving, there is a crackdown on corruption. And Noah, that's how we start our day.
Well done, Mr. President. Yes. Well done.
So a lot is coming in, but that is just one of them. Now, however, some interesting news as well is the chief organizer of the Ministry of Finance, Ramadan Gobi, also came out to reassure the country, saying the economy is healthy and growing. Some have actually said, some have said that the rate at which there is expected growth is very unrealistic. Very unrealistic. There's some analysts that have said, you know what, you continuously say this for every financial year, but nothing really comes to place.
One of the articles that I've seen in the recent months, I think it's either last year or this year, was referred to the banks. somebody wrote an article explaining how banks are getting very, very high interests, but there's no visible development from, like people economically are not doing well, and yet the financial institutions are gaining a lot of money.
From the interest rates.
Yeah, from the interest rates and all that. There's something we should celebrate in Uganda because, yes, I think we have made strides. We have made a lot of progress economically, politically, socially. But also we should accept that there are some gaps that we are missing.
That's true.
That balance between the rich and the poor
is getting wider.
Yes, that balance between taxation and service delivery is so unfair. So I think much as they give this analysis, sometimes I feel like they sit in their offices and don't face the reality.
They're not in touch with what is happening.
They're not in touch with the reality. They're not in touch with the real Ugandan out there. Because I know that if I stepped out of this place and went to my village, the poor people I see are totally not talked about in the reports that we are reading about development, economic development.
Yeah.
And the programs that the government has put forward are also having a lot of challenges.
It is true. But even before we get onto the programs, Noah, remember, you talked about banks, the high interest rates and all that. A program like a project such as GROW comes in to have partner financial institutions and say, you know what, we're going to get in touch with these couple of banks, especially for the women and the men being employed under those women-led enterprises, and saying, you know what, we are going to work with this so that the interest rate is dropped continuously, consistently. But then what is also a little bit baffling is that you've had reports about the monies, yes, especially under some projects such as the GROW, being untapped because the beneficiaries are fearing to take it.
But you see,
they're fearing to go and get these monies.
The other day, we were here breaking down some of the challenges that have happened over time. If you look at all the government programs that have been implemented, from Youth Livelihood Fund, Entandikwa, Wealth Creation, Wanabagagawale, you have NUSAF, now you have PDM, all those programs. I'll give an example of NUSAF in my district. I saw people who prepared. Someone is told you're going to get goats. Someone is told you're going to get 100 kgs of peanuts. They go ahead and plow an acre of land to plant the peanuts, and they get 5 kilos at the end. You understand?
Yes.
So there is that disconnection because there has been a lot of disappointment. I mean, even if you're dating a man for you and a woman for me, and then this person keeps on disappointing you over and over.
You get you normalize the disappointment.
Yes,
you normalize
it. And you find a way of, cutting off slowly by slowly, because you're depending on this person, but he's not showing that he's dependable. You get?
Yeah.
It's a level where Ugandans are.
They've lost faith.
Yes, if you talk to young people, I was here with 2 young people who are doing amazing projects in climate change, and they have expressed their concern of how it is very hard to benefit from government programs. Though one of them actually said, yes, I have benefited. We got some money, which I was like, yes, that was nice.
Do you think it's because those who are locked out, excluded, or have a story such as that, for the person that got 5 kgs of groundnuts instead of 100, do you think it's because their voices are a little bit higher? They are captured, and when they are captured, they're elevated, rather than those ones who have done good? Yes?
The thing is...
Is it because of that? Because we have 2 sides, and I love to flip the coin as well. You have gaps definitely in all these programs, cyclical gaps, because they continuously come up every now and then. But you cannot say that out of Operation Wealth Creation, out of NADS, out of Bonabagagawale, that there have not been particular Montua Wansi who has benefited.
No.
They are there.
No, yes,
there.
I love that.
Yes.
I love that. The fact is that a number of people have benefited from these programs. But if we say majority,
it is not really majority.
I would want to refute it. The reason why I can't refute it is because I don't have facts right now, but I would love to refute it because if you talk to people on ground, you realize that there's some problem somewhere. And to me, this is the thing, and the president has emphasized it over and over. The people that he sends to implement these programs
are the ones that
and
are
one of the things that he keeps on pointing out is that you people are spoiling everything because they are given everything. I'm telling you, some years back,
you see, the
government jobs were not very fancy.
The contradiction, and I have to cut you short, the contradiction in this, he has pointed out the implementers, yes, about, you know what, I sent you out. But when they get down there, they say it is orders from above. This happened in Greater Masaka region in one of the programs, whereby lots of ghost circles were formulated. And the banks had to play along because some of the banks had to play along in these areas whereby monies were coming. And
National
then
banks.
Banks within that particular area, I cannot really commit myself to mentioning the bank names. But however, they were saying, you know what, this is the scenario that happened. Orders were made from above. Now, whether these orders are actually are really as the orders are, the reality about it is you have people coming up and saying, yes, you are cleaning yourself and stepping away from all this. But why don't you take action when you know who is at fault? You've had all these different issues come up. Yes, with people within his close circle, within the inner closest circle, come up and swindle money and do all these different things, and nothing has been.
Nothing has been.
Even when they are put in, at the end of the day, it is just forgiveness. Let us get out. We want the money.
It's why I said if they have to arrest people until they arrest themselves, we are for go. Let's arrest the corrupt.
On a high note, we start off on this Monday, but let's dive straight into the press and see what is happening in your new vision right now. Cooperative cash, 5 more face arrests. That's good news for you.
Oh, I love to hear that news.
5 more face arrests in the cooperative cash. Remember, we broke it down for you in the last time when we were talking about Emil Gas, PDM, the cooperatives getting quite some chunk of the national cake. But this is what is happening. Early this year, 3 MPs, Yusuf Mutembuli, Paul Akamba, and Sise Namuju were arrested and charged in court after they allegedly asked for a bribe from the officials of the Uganda Human Rights Commission. And that is where we started from. However, the files are ready. There's a 5th suspect. Parliament probe on cooperatives because from August 2020, August the 25th, a sectoral committee on tourism, trade and industry received instructions from Among to conduct an inquiry into the status, governance, resourcing and value for money for public funds during the financial years 2011, 2012 to 2022, 2023. So they're really backtracking. They're backtracking and trying to figure out who is doing what and where have these monies. Accountability overload this financial year. URA fulfills President's directive on the electronic tax system. First Lady, new UNDP country boss discuss progress of greening schools project. Remember, this is still a very topical issue, the climate change and what efforts are being made right now. Uganda is on board, actually. Uganda
for climate
is on board.
Change.
Yes.
We are still minimizing the efforts.
Because we are still using the polythene bag. The Kavera has totally failed.
The polythene bag, but even policy-wise, we're still
Rwanda did very well.
Budgeting also, we are still minimizing the issue of climate change and all that. But we're on board. I know Ugandans, some things.
If we push for it, we will have something done.
Yeah, there are so many young people who are doing a lot of things in climate change, though.
Yes.
And that's one thing that I'm impressed about.
Do they get support, however?
That's a challenge. They still depend on foreign NGOs and UN and stuff like that. MP
Bwanika says we are done with NUP. Hints at Mpuga-led group.
I don't know if that guy has a business, but he has a church. Let him go and try church more. Bwanika, which is also going to. Uganda Human Rights Commission has decried funding as a major obstacle to fulfilling its mandate of carrying out investigations, monitor and advance human rights in the country. We've had quite a lot coming in regards to human rights violations. I still have one of the hottest stories here, I think.
Just cassava farmers had hit by lack of market, low prices.
I love cassava.
You know,
why is it lacking market?
It is not even just the cassava itself. We were talking recently to some of the stakeholders, and they were talking about, we were up in Yumbe, and they were saying, you know what, we are even increasing on the acreage for cassava, because now you have like 4 or 5 different items you can get from cassava. You have the cassava itself, you have the cassava cutting, the stem cuttings that you can sell, and then there is another particular product that is so expensive.
In cassava? Yeah,
the starch. The starch.
Yeah, but I do kalo, and cassava is very important for my kalo.
Yes, and plus the powder itself, the flour, cassava flour.
But the prices are very low. I think the last article I read from one of the consultants called James Wade was talking about 150 a kilo.
150?
Yes.
For
Imagine,
what?
for cassava.
Per what? Per kilo?
Yes, per kilo.
150,000? 150 shillings.
You're out of the reality, Doreen. Are you in London?
I'm in Uganda. I'm in Uganda.
This one just landed from London.
Mapping initiative slashes maternal mortality in refugee settlements. This is some good news coming in. In 9 countries experiencing humanitarian crisis, maternal mortality rates were more than double the global average. Get your latest new vision for today, Monday, 24th.
Yes, and the Daily Monitor, Game of Thrones. Something. Let me justify what you were just talking about here of, deploy and then you don't, So the president and the speaker, impunity, that's how Daily Monitor has called it. Days after President Museveni blew hot in a renewed war on graft, Parliament Speaker Anita Mongi, already sanctioned by foreign government over corruption claims, tells Rengo constraints that Mr. Museveni has heard your cries about women MP Sise Namuju, remanded alongside 2 others to prison on corruption charges. So these are the statements. I will tell you, and this is where we are getting lost, and we don't know who is who. This way, that way, Mr. Museveni, we are going to stamp out corruption. I don't know how the corrupt, forget that we have got a lot of power and capacity, which we shall use if necessary. These corrupt people insult our heroes. They have now attracted our full attention. We shall crush this treachery. This is really betrayal, and we are going to finish it. That's President Museveni during the national budget speech.
Yes.
From the speaker, quite a contradiction. The president, Mr. Museveni, has heard your cries, where you say that when your child misbehaves, you beat and say go back and do something good. And you are better off having a child, even if she goes and eats something, as long as she brings some.
Do you see what was
some in brackets back home? And that is Sise Namuju, currently on remand on corruption, is going to be your woman MP forever.
And she promised.
Mark the word forever.
Yes, and she promised she is getting out, she is coming. Please don't be so worried. The president will give her leniency. So
how shall we take this fight very seriously?
Exactly. So when you're talking about, let
this is the third in command.
Let them jail
at national level.
Let them jail themselves, and then you have the third in command saying something like this. It is so filled with double standards.
You can check that in the Daily Monitor. Also, use envoy rallies, U.S. envoy rallies, yes, foreign rallies, foreign policy alumni for peace. These programs are very common, and I think they are also promoting quite a number of other programs. So, U.S. envoy rallies, foreign policy alumni for peace. You can get that article. What sort of church celebrates 40 years of spreading the gospel? 40 years. Oh, Pastor Gary Skinner. 40 years. Did you listen to his speech on corruption?
I would expect something coming out.
He defined corruption and explained how evil corruption can be. The devil works in corruption. Hallelujah.
The devil works.
So yes, you can catch this story. Watoto Church celebrate 40 years of spreading the gospel. And we also have city authorities accusing NEMA of unlawful eviction.
Yeah.
This story is still on.
It was so unfair. No, it
was not fair.
It wasn't fair. One, because you have your moments of silence. Yes, NEMA has its moments of silence, and these moments of silence really get into decades, whereby you continuously are not enforcing. You are turning blind to someone who is coming in.
But you see,
and then one morning you just wake up out of the blue.
There's a lot of unfairness in this part of the story, because where the eviction happened, especially in Rubiji, there is a big corporation
that is still there.
Yes, that was left standing.
Yeah.
That office is also in Rubiji. You get?
Yeah.
But the ordinary Ugandans were evicted. Yeah? Me, I appreciate the efforts, because as a person who believes that climate change is real, I appreciate what NEMA is doing to make sure that they protect the wetlands. However, I think there are lots of things that we look on happen. Where were they when these people were building?
Where were
they? They say they warned them. Why didn't you stop them? Why didn't you take measures? Because we are in a city whereby every opportunity you're looking out for, okay, not every opportunity, but most of the opportunities have been laid in one single city. We're going to have most of these challenges. I remember some time back there was an issue of like, hey, can we have a capital transferred to another place? And I think that Kasongola was suggested. I mean, we are at that level because Kampala
is getting smaller and smaller.
Kampala got smaller a long time ago. Namamve is gone. It was a wetland.
Industrial park now.
You get. So we have a lot of things to question in this eviction, but we also have a lot of things to credit NEMA for, because the wetlands have to be protected, and Ugandans should learn from this, that when they say don't go to the wetlands, do not go to the wetlands.
Actually, what they're doing right now, most people are throwing daggers right at NEMA, saying you have been quiet for decades. Yes? And NEMA throws back the daggers and says, but don't you know, a wetland is a wetland.
But also Ugandans should understand the law.
And that's the reality about it, because they are saying you can see a wetland, you know what it looks like. Why are you waiting for me, who has already told you not to do ABCD within the wetland? Why are you waiting for me to come? You should know that the moment you bring that first brick and put it there, that there's going to be trouble.
May I tell Ugandans one thing? Sometimes we do not know that the state has power. We get stubborn. But let me explain this. Yes. The day the state ever wants to come to you and put you in the right place, you will know. But now it comes to Ugandans, let them understand the law. However, the implementation of this whole eviction has a lot of questions around it.
Of course. Of course. There is quite a lot more coming in. Get your latest papers, get your New Vision and your Daily Monitor and find out what is happening. But for more insight, let's just take a quick break and we'll be right back after this.
Inspired souls brought together by love are set on a life-changing journey.
This is your life, Mackenzie. It's no longer a dream.
It's just something about Mackenzie.
I'll never marry you.
Your position does not allow you to break work relationship rules.
Where choices change everything. Crossroads, a brand new telenovela starting 25th June at 8 p.m. on Pearl Magic Prime. DSTV channel 148, GOTV channel 303.
Are you a female business owner in Uganda looking to grow and transform your business? Grow empowers you with access to entrepreneur services, accelerating your business growth from micro to small and from small to medium enterprises. Grow provides comprehensive support, including training, startup tools, business formalization, certification, certification, networking opportunities, access to affordable credit and grants, coaching and mentorship, with all resources available for free. For more information, please visit grow.go.ug. Contact the PSFU Grow officers at Trust Towers, ground floor, plot 4 Chadondo Road, Nakasero, or the Ministry of Gender at plot 2 George Street, Simba Manyo House, 3rd floor. Call us at +256 394 514 071. This message is brought to you by the Grow Project, a Government of Uganda project implemented by the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development and PSFU, funded by the World Bank. Grow, generating growth opportunities and productivity